good morning. Good morning and good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi, everybody. Here we are, making our way slowly but surely towards that last day of the week, that TGIF Friday. But today we're not quite there, but we're here. Thank God we're here. We woke up to a beautiful day. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It is Thursday, and I'm still Lauren Michaels Harris, your host today for Bad Throw Moments. Wow, what a week we've had. I woke up this morning. I think we have about 4.5 inches of snow out here in the Chicagoland area. I knew that we were supposed to get 4 to 8 inches, but we are, and it's still snowing. So, but that's okay. It's beautiful, and I don't have to drive in it because I can't drive yet uh, because of the knee. And today is a big day for me. I am going back to the hospital to get my 27 staples removed from my knee today, and everything, thank God, is going just splendidly. Going up and down the stairs, not one step at a time, but doing it in a normal way. No pain. I tell you what, I'm feeling so blessed, and I want to thank all of you. Yesterday, when I got home from outpatient therapy, I had on my front porch one of those edible arrangements. It was actually in a box that was came from one of my coaching clients, Brenda Tucker Jeffries, and I posted it. But I still wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, right here live on the show, thank you so much to Brenda. I am so blessed and honored. The people that I am able to work with in my coaching program are some of the most wonderful people on the planet, and that's the truth. And prayers for Brenda. She's been having a lot of her own personal issues with. She has a husband who, as many of you know, because we've been keeping you apprised of it, diabetic, wonderful man, lost first a few toes earlier in the year or latter part of last year, right during the holidays, then lost the foot and part of the leg, and now they're over. Same thing's happening on the other. So Brenda, to take the time out of her own um, stuff, if you will, is just that's a beautiful thing. And we need to be mindful of each other and never get so busy that we don't take time. You know, I was saying the other day we were talking about when prayer. I felt bad. I had to get on myself about how when people say, "Oh, I'm going through something," send prayers, and it's so easy to hit those prayer hands or type in done, but sometimes I would do it and not actually stop, close my eyes, bend my knees, and pray. And we don't ever want to just make it a cookie cutter thing. Prayer should be earnest and should be from the heart. So keep that in mind. Um, Let me tell you really quickly, because I want to get this in. We are getting ready. It's a week from tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, our guest today, Miss Tracy Randolph, and some of the other young women from the New Jersey, New York area will be coming into Chicago, taking the Windy City by storm, along with some other people from around here and as far away as Texas, Misty Lane, California. We will be spending the day together, as you see right here, at the Discover the Author and Speaker in You full day workshop. This is an interactive workshop. I partnered with one of my coaching clients, Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman, has been with me for about 2.5 years. She speaks on my stages, which all of my clients get to do, and you will meet lots of them when you come to the event next Friday, starting with the people at the front desk registering you, the MCs, the facilitators, everybody there, the graphic artists, everybody. We're all a family of people working together, and you get to meet them. You're going to learn how to get out of your seat and on your feet to get your message out into the hearts and the hands of the world where it can do some good. The first half of the day is about speaking as a business, or maybe you're one of those people who speaks towards more business, like recruiters, real estate agents, people in corporate America. Or you might want to do like I do and actually speak as your business. Whatever the case, we're going to help you find that message, get started, and give you some great tools to keep you going. Second half of the day, right after our keynote speaker, Dr. James Dentley. A lot of you know about him. If you don't, Google him. He is one of the most prolific speakers I think I've ever heard. He and Les Brown share the stages all the time. They're like twins almost, joined at the hip. Where you see one, you'll see the other. And he is a master storyteller. I just love James to death. He'll be there doing the keynote for lunch, and then the last half of the day is where you get to discover the author in you. If you're a VIP ticket holder, you're going to get a mock-up version of your book idea, the concept, front and back. All you have to do is go home and write what goes in between. So we'll see you there. Get your tickets today at Eventbrite. Simply search on Eventbrite and to type in "Discover the Author," and the rest will pop up on the screen. I promise you that. Any questions, get at me. I'll be happy to answer them. So, going forward, so we can get our guest in here. Now, why aren't I up on the screen? Oh, I guess I better add myself to it. That's why. So there we go. Let me move me up here. There's a lot. I told you guys all this techie stuff, but I'm getting pretty good at it. I must say, I'm getting pretty good at it. And I'm gonna keep myself small on this screen because, as you see, there she is. See her right there. Um, that is Miss Tracy Randolph. Let me bring her in. Now you're gonna be able to see her. There she is. Lovely, lovely, lovely. She is one of my bookmates, if you will, in this wonderful. I got post-it notes all over the thing. Spiritual Fitness Survivor. This is the second edition, a bestseller, where myself and 28 other authors, one of which is our guest today. I've been featuring them for the last few weeks, one by one, and they're sharing their real life stories. Now, Tracy is chapter 21. And Okay, that is actually Tanika Claiborne's favorite number, who was chapter 23. I remember that. I remember that. So Tracy Randolph, her chapter is entitled Divine Confirmation, and we're going to talk about that. She is known as the Reset Coach. She's a successful certified health coach, life coach, personal trainer, and of course, as you see, a best-selling author, survivor, and her most important job of all is mom. She has a passion for health, fitness, nutrition, and just overall holistic wellness. And she came about that honestly, and we're going to talk about that once I get her in here, which should be, I think, right about now. What do you guys think? Right? Should we get her in here? I think so. So let me just bring Miss Tracy in, and I'm going to move her over here to the side. She should be popping on the screen at any time now. And there we go. Dun, 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 dun. She's in the air right now, moving over in a million little pieces. Oh, she's already on the screen. No, you're actually on the screen, Tracy. I have to move you. I have to move you to the front because if I don't, you're going to be behind everything.
Okay.
Okay, there you are. I'm getting it. Okay, say hello, everyone. Miss Tracy Randolph. Wave, you're on.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
things? What's the weather like there?
It is rainy and cold in New Jersey.
It's rainy.
Rainy, yes.
Oh,
No snow, thank goodness. I heard you say you have snow.
We do. I think I don't know. Well, yeah, I'd rather have rain than snow. But it depends on the temperature because you know that rain can turn to ice.
That is true, which will probably happen tonight.
Yeah. So you said New Jersey. What part of New Jersey do you hail from?
I am in northern New Jersey, so probably about 20 minutes outside of New York City.
Oh, okay. So you can get to New York City in no time.
Yes, yeah.
So have you ever worked in New York City and just commuted?
For many years. I worked in New York City for about 16 years. I was in the investment banking industry, which I still am actually, leaving there April 30th. So everybody heard it here first.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, I am, fully launching as a coach and a speaker and a personal trainer. So yeah.
Okay. So you're making that move.
Making that move. It's time to transition.
And she's moving on up, moving on up. Oh, congratulations on that. And how long have you been in corporate America, can we ask?
Oh, wow. Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Dating myself, but yes.
Was this a difficult thing to actually do? I know we can talk about it. And even retirement for people, they'll keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But even more so when it comes to taking this big leap of faith. What got you to the point where you said now is the time, Tracy?
Well, it's a lot about what I wrote about in the book. Just understanding that I needed a break. And I was asking for a break, and God gave me a break in the form of breast cancer. But years before the breast cancer happened, I really was saying, this is really not my life's purpose. And what I'm doing doesn't feel like I'm really impacting anybody's lives. I'm not really helping anyone in what I'm doing. And I'm not really getting any real fulfillment out of it. I was making good money, but that just wasn't the end all be all for me. And I wanted to do something that mattered. So I kept putting it off and putting it off because, of course, life happens, and I had a son, and needed to take care of him, and
Mm.
I'm a single mother, so it makes it even more difficult when you have a son and you're raising him by yourself.
Yeah,
But I decided that I would, make the transition. Excuse me, my voice is going hoarse for some reason.
that's okay. You got a drink there? Take a sip.
Yeah, I don't. I should have brought my tea with
Girl,
me because I love tea.
gotta have something. Do you
Yes,
want to grab something? You okay?
I love that cup.
That's Lucy. She's actually got a contract with us. So yeah, and I'm probably gonna get a whipping because I didn't say welcome to the show. My sidekick, my best gal, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. So there you go.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for that. Now I'm off the hook.
Yes.
Do you need to grab something to drink? We're good.
No, I think I'll be okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen.
So,
Let me just ask you,
mhm,
before the breast cancer reared its ugly head,
mhm,
were you already thinking that? What were you thinking? Were you thinking about the speaking and all this, or did you really just want to get into the fitness? Was the health thing an issue? A lot of people get into the health thing after they get a
mhm,
diagnosis of some sort. What
mhm.
was the order of
The,
the
the
for
the
you?
order for me definitely was I need a break. I didn't even know what I was going to go into. I didn't know what my purpose really was at the time. I just knew that where I was wasn't where I was supposed to be. So
Just
that
didn't feel right.
absolutely, absolutely did not feel right at all. And it was in my gut, it was in my spirit, and I knew that I needed to make a move. I just didn't know what that move was going to be.
That is an interesting thing that we're talking about here. And welcome to those of you who I see have just joined us. You're here today on Thursday's episode. Thank you. Come on in off the front porch, wipe your feet off, and come in and let's get started. You're in the midst of bathroom moments. We're illuminating conversations with great people, real talk about real issues. And today, Tracy Randolph is here talking about her journey. Now, Tracy, I know a lot of people when it comes to that decision, and I'm finding more and more people. I actually have a coaching client who is in the Ukraine in medical school. He lives in India, but he
Mhm.
goes to school in the Ukraine, and he's in his 5th year of 6 years of medical school. And medical school is actually his backup plan. His
Wow.
parents made him go to medical school as a
Mhm.
backup plan for his speaking.
Wow.
So
Wow.
he's so serious about speaking,
Mhm.
he figured it out. Oftentimes those things are in the reverse. Like
Mhm.
with you
Mhm.
get all that education, you have a great job, you're making 6 figures in
Mhm.
many cases.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of my corporate clients that I work with, that's the story.
Mhm.
And then they get there and it's just a rat race. They don't have time for anything
Anything
that
else.
matters to them.
That's
And
right.
then that's what makes the focus just glare like a Klieg light is on all those things that you don't have time for.
Mhm.
But very few can bite the bullet and walk away from all that comfortability, if you will.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, how long did it take you to move from I think I'm ready to till getting the date set for
Mhm.
April 30th. How long did it take? 2 years, 3 years, 2 weeks, 2 months?
No. No, because I was in that comfortability as you talked about. It took me 8 years to get to this point. Now, within that time frame, I was going through my certification program, 2 certification programs actually, to prepare myself for the transition, but it really took me 8 years to get to this point.
What kind of certification programs?
So I have a health coaching certification and a life coaching certification. And
Mm,
I'm actually doing a personal training one now. So yeah, it's been a while.
hmm
Mhm,
So let me ask you this. Because, we've been talking a lot about this over the last few weeks because we've seen every kind of coach under the sun.
mhm.
Most of them are in this book.
Yes.
There's the happiness coach, there's this and that, and we're talking about it because that's what we do on Bathrobe Moments. And because when I'm having talks with people during the regular day, and you talk about, oh yeah, I met this girl today, she's a so and so coach, and they go, oh, everybody's a coach, everybody, and now from the health world, like how it was when all of a sudden everybody was a trainer.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I want to know this because I know one thing because I am a coach. Um, we have to be authorities.
Mhm.
And what it is, we're trying to show people you can't show somebody
Mm-hmm.
what you haven't lived.
Mm-hmm.
You can't show somebody what you haven't learned.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to life and certain things, how do you feel about? I mean, when people go and get these certifications, not to take anything from them, but they can give you a certification, but they can't give you what it felt like when you went home in the car that day after hearing you have cancer.
That's right.
There's not a module for that. There's not a module when you look up and you look at your son and you get angry at what you believe to be greater than you, i.e., God,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know if you're going to live or not live, right
Mm-hmm.
or wrong.
That's right.
Right. So, how did that certification feel? Did you have the certification before the cancer or after?
After. After.
Okay. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
you already knew you were the coach
Yes.
because you lived through and you just went and you got the paper.
A-
You got the stuff to show you how to do the business.
Absolutely.
Now that's what I want you to explain to people. That's right.
Sure.
Because they didn't give you your story. They gave you the means to promote it
Mm-hmm.
and do something with it, right? Because
That's
a
right.
lot of people just go and say, "Make me a coach."
Mm-hmm.
But they're not willing to, or they're not ready to face those things that they really are authorities on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? So now you got everything together, you know, and you're ready to go. So, what happens every day that you're moving closer to the 30th? What's going through your world?
Wow. So now putting together an online program that is focused on is going to be called the Reset Transformation, and it's focused on mind, body, and spirit, because without the change of the mindset, you can't change your habits to change your physical being. So want to put all encompassing to cover all three areas. So we talk about, how you get from where you are to where you want to be. How do you visualize that person? And then how do you put that into action? So that's what the online program is all about. In all of this, as you know, because I'm an author with you in Spiritual
Mhm.
Fitness Survivor, in all of
Sure.
this, I have now Spiritual Fitness Survivor is actually the third book that I have been fortunate enough to co-author, where I am telling bits and pieces of my story in all three books. It started out with a book called Women Empowering Women, and
Okay.
I went through a whole I did the life planning through Women Empowered and their Breakthrough University. I did that life coach and life planning certification through that business and through that entity. And it's a nonprofit organization that focuses on helping women kind of figure out where they want to be and where they want to go in life. So all of this was kind of born out of that first program that I did, because I went through the cancer. I joined that program. I built my life plan. I started researching nutrition and health and environment, and was like, and started coaching women through that program. And I was like, this is it. Thank you, God. This is where I need to be. This is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And the way it felt versus the way that I've lived my life through accounting and investment banking for so many years was so much different. Like, it was in my
Mm-hmm.
spirit, it was in my soul. It made me happy. I really felt fulfilled as I was helping women kind of get through some of their blocks around their own physical health and their mental health.
Okay.
Meaning just mindset, not, just mindset around how they make changes in their life.
Some people may want to know, and this is something that you could shed some light on
Mhm.
when you're making those decisions and whatnot. Because I've had a lot of women on the show over the last 3 seasons that do a lot of things focused and geared specifically for women,
Mhm.
and we get it. But let me ask you, when you were making that decision about your target market, what was it about your journey that you figured gave you an upper hand with women,
Mhm.
specifically women?
Mhm.
I find that always interesting, and every time I ask a guest that, the answer is different. And so I love asking it. What is it? Why is it so important to you to get this information specifically into the hearts and the hands of women?
Well, I'll come to you from a single mom perspective.
Okay.
That's really it for me. That's what resonates for me. Helping, I'm more targeted towards the single moms, the corporate women, only because it resonates with my life. So, how do you, as a single mom, make sure that you're focused on self care? while you're taking care of your kids, while you're going through the busyness of life, while you're working, that corporate single mother, working and really busy, just trying to get through. Really, how do you make sure that you take care of yourself in the midst of all of that? So,
Hmm.
because it's my story, it resonates with me so much, and I want to help women in that same aspect, in that same regard, focus on their own self care while they're taking care of everybody else.
Awesome. So you're a speaker as well.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you speak on?
I speak on the reset.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about that.
Mhm.
Explain to everybody. We know that when something, there's certain things in our homes that have reset buttons,
Mhm.
the modem, the this, and when it turns off or there's a surge in power, if
Mhm.
you will, you go and you hit the reset button to get it to boot itself up again,
Mhm.
right? So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, how to reset your life, how to change something. If you don't like the button, move it. You don't like
Absolutely.
people pushing the buttons, move it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how do take us through the process? Say there's someone listening who knows that they need a reset,
Mhm.
and they've got their little list of New Year's resolutions on the refrigerator or on their desk or wherever. They've
Mhm.
got their vision board hanging. But here
Mhm.
we are, halfway through the month of February, and when they look around, realistically, not much has changed yet.
Mhm.
Could it be the time to reset?
Absolutely. So let me tell you what the reset stands for
Okay.
first, because this is what I take women through when I'm coaching them. So first is the R is for resilience, and the resilience is understand that you're here. You made it here to this day, and you've lived your life to this point. You are resilient. You have the resiliency and the power to move forward because you've made it thus far. So that's what the R is for. The E is for existence, and that existence is understanding why you're here. What's your real life purpose? And getting down to kind of the nitty gritty. What is your why behind the why in terms of why you're here and what you want to do in your life? So that's the E, that's existence. And then the S is for strength and strategy. So tap into your innate power and then form a plan around that power because you have the power to do anything that you want. And then the E is
Mhm.
for execution. The next E is for execution because now that you find the strength, you have the strategy, come on, let's execute that plan that you put together. And then the T is just for today because yesterday is already gone. Forget about what you didn't do yesterday. Figure out what you want to do and start today. So that's what the reset stands for. And when I take women through that, I help them to think about, okay, who are you in your mind right now? And be realistic with yourself. Who do you think you are in your mind right now? Because a lot of times our subconscious plays tricks with us, right? And we're a lot of times maybe putting on a smile for everybody else, but we're thinking things subconsciously or even consciously, right? When we look in the mirror, that we kind of label ourselves. So who are you in your mind right now? And then when you think about the vision board and the vision that you put together for yourself, who do you want to be? And how do you go from who you are in your mind right now to who do you want to be? So that's mindset. And then that's also physical because I take them through, okay, what is this person thinking? What is she wearing? Where is she? Is she sitting on the beach? Is she in the city? Where is she? What does she look like? Does she wear heels? Does she have lipstick on? What is she driving? Everything to take them through an experiential exercise that gets them from who they are in their mind right now to who they actually want to be.
So let me ask this,
Hmm.
and I love that. I love every one of the letters in that acronym, and they all make perfect sense. My two favorites are the P and the E, because any a dream without a plan is nothing more than a wish,
Hmm.
and executing being executable is the key,
Hmm.
because you can think about it, dream about it,
Hmm.
wish upon it,
Hmm.
but until you do something about it, it will not leave the world of thoughts and become tangible in the world of actions.
That's right.
So those two really resonate with me. But let me ask you this: what about the woman, Tracy, who, because every one of these things has something to do with the individual,
Hmm.
okay? But what about that woman that's sitting there going, "Yeah, I get it. And if I had total control over my life, I could do that. But I got a
Hmm.
husband or I got a man who You know, everything's about him.
Mhm.
You know, he doesn't want me to better myself.
Mhm.
He thinks every time I do something for myself that I'm getting myself together to leave him, or I'm doing it because I want somebody else. Where you going? Who you
Mhm.
getting prettied up for? I hear this all the time.
Mhm.
Or they've got, you know, kids who are pulling, and they're entitled children, if you will.
Mhm.
Or they've got soccer, they've got ballet to kick,
Mhm.
they got gymnastics, they got PTA, and
Mhm.
they just can't find enough time, enough hours in the day
Mhm.
to find a piece of the pie and put it away for themselves. Where do they start to create, even to clear the fog or wipe the fog off the mirror so they can
Mhm.
see themselves to say you need a reset?
Mhm. Well, I would say the start is, what is the desire? Understand why they want what they want. What is the desire, and how important is that desire to them? Because we all get the same 24 hours in a day.
True.
And, I'm a mom, I'm a sports mom, I'm a corporate woman, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I speak, like life gets crazy. But the desire has to be there enough for them to want to kind of clear the fog away. So if that means, most successful people get up at 5 a.m. I had my coach talk to me about this, but create some more time. Or even if it's when the kids are in bed, create some time, even if it's just an hour a day. Focus an hour a day on what you really want until more time frees up. Even if it's in the car while the kids are at practice, because I have done that before. I have,
Yeah.
our phones are so functional now that we can get pretty much anything on our phone. So if you're at practice with your kid, while the kid is practicing, make sure that you have what you need on your phone, and do it. Just do it.
Mhm. I agree. I really, especially when it comes to that time. Absolutely right. Because I am an accountability coach by
Mhm.
all means, and some of my people are watching right now, and they know.
Mhm.
You know, one of the first things they sign with me is an agreement where they know I give them power to
Mhm.
call me any name in the book,
Mhm.
because you probably will before it's all said and done.
Mhm.
Because I'm not, when it comes to not being actionable and excuses, I'm Sweet Brown. Ain't
Mhm.
nobody got time for that.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? I'll send your
Mhm.
coins right back to Cash App. I will. I'll send them right back to Cash App, because I'm not working with you for your routing number. I'm
Mhm.
working with you for your testimonial. You're going
Mhm.
to get it done, or you're going to keep it moving. And
Mhm.
that's the thing. And why? Because none of us will ever be as young again as we are right now.
That's right.
If you feel you have a message that can change the world, then get it out into the world, you
Mhm.
know? So
I
let's
have
talk.
to I have to just say something on that too, just to be fully transparent, right? Because my
Sure.
life is crazy, and no excuses. But with my online program, but I just want to kind of relay this to the women out there. With my online program, it has been really difficult for me to get focused on that because so many other things are happening. The book came out, and I had speaking engagements, and so many things are happening. But the idea of around the reset is just to reset and refocus and readjust. So that's what I'm having to do right now to make sure that I can get this program out. And it's taken me a while, and I'm still on it. But the I'm still on it is the point. The
Yeah.
point is I'm still on it. So just keep going, ladies. Keep going. Keep
And gentlemen, I got to speak up for the guys,
and the
because,
guys.
because the thing about it is, it's no different.
Right.
I mean, I have friends, I have guys, I have clients that are single fathers or in a two-parent relationship,
Hmm.
and it's the same thing.
Hmm.
And I love the thing about the timing, because no one puts a gun to our head and says, "You better get in that bed right now.
Yeah.
Go to bed,
Yeah.
or get up. You better get up right now." So you can stay up a half hour later, get up a half hour earlier, and you now have an entire hour that you have created to get something done.
Hmm.
Now, how much can you get done in a little bit of time? A
Hmm.
lot, because a little bit of something will always garner more than a whole lot of nothing. If
Yes.
you don't believe me, put a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something in the microwave and hit 2 minutes
Hmm.
and see if I bet you I can go to the bathroom. I can open up all the blinds in the living room.
Right.
I can turn the lights out around the house. And I can sometimes even start unloading the dishwasher.
Hmm.
before that microwave beeps 2 minutes.
Mhm.
You will be surprised. Try that sometime. And then you say,
Absolutely.
well, if I can do all that in just 2 minutes, what if I gathered all those times that I'm just sitting around looking at Facebook? And because you can sit there in the morning. That's why I don't even mess with my phone
Mhm.
until after I'm done with this show and I've done my personal reflection,
Mhm.
all that stuff. I don't even look because you can look at your phone thinking you just gonna glance at it. Next thing you know, 20, 30 minutes have gone by
Yeah.
and you're behind. You got to get up and rush, right? So
Absolutely.
let's talk about this. Let's change the air in the tank if we can for a moment.
Sure. Sure.
Let's talk about that person,
Mhm.
man, woman, who is dealing with a health issue.
Mhm.
Let's talk about what was it when you went, how different were you, Tracy? Seriously.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, and I came from a health background, a health and wellness transformation background.
Mhm.
And I used to tell my clients, look at all those perfumes and polishes and stuff on your nightstand.
Mhm.
If you don't get this together,
Mhm.
every one of those is going to be replaced with a prescription bottle one day, because it's funny how we can't do things until somebody in a white lab coat
Mhm.
says you have to or
Mhm.
you're going to die,
That's right.
right? So as far as taking care of ourselves,
Mhm.
because that's a big part of what you do with the health and wellness,
Mhm.
why is it you think that we don't do these things until we're pushed against up against the wall?
That's a good question. I think people are so wrapped up in one, busyness, or two, the pleasure of the things that are not really good for us.
Mm.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's a mouthful. I gotta hit the bell of purpose. That means that you guys' chance to throw some hearts on the screen, because that's a platinum nugget that just came out of Tracy Randolph's mouth. Now, that is a really big point,
Hmm.
because we're dieting here in our house, because been waiting for this knee to get fixed, so no excuses, back into the gym, blah blah blah. And
Hmm.
we do those kind of things together because we eat so much together here in the house, my husband and I.
Hmm.
And we sit around, we going, I go in the grocery store now, and I'm looking around, and it's like, literally one day before the knee surgery, I went to the store and I was like, ooh, look at that's on sale. Ooh, look at that looks good. But I couldn't get any of it. I was so pissed off. I went to the cosmetics section and bought a whole bunch of shampoos and lotions and stuff just to have something in my basket,
Right.
because I was so pissed off that I couldn't touch any of the other stuff. And I got home and I said, honey, why is it that all the stuff we like and love seems to be stuff that we need to stay away from?
Hmm. Hmm. And
What do you
particularly in this country, right, where it's just set up that way, because everything is done, I guess, faster, right? So it's not that great for us because of what they put in it, particularly when it comes to our food. But it's so pleasurable, right? Because most things that we eat are filled with sugar, and sugar makes you happy, right? Let's just
Yes, it
face
does.
the
Yes,
facts.
it does.
But
Yes. So do
but
you
I was.
think, as a reset coach, do
Mhm.
you think that this is a great time for your acronym, for your mindset to come into play?
Mhm.
Because I'll tell you this, it is that way at the beginning of anything that we need to change. But then if we give it 30 days, I used to find that as a magic number.
Yeah,
Stick with something you really want for 30 days,
yeah,
and before you know it, you can't even remember how you even did the other thing,
right.
because we've reconditioned, reintroduced a
Mhm.
new mindset, a new concept. Do you think how do you feel about that?
So I think that's key. You said it right, right? They say it takes 21 days to change a habit, right? So if you get to that 30th day, right, you've changed your lifestyle
Yep.
completely. So that's it. But you said something really key about when you were in the store and seeing all those things that you wanted to get, and you really just refocused, and bought things that probably you didn't need. However,
Right.
that would keep you away from the things that you really know you didn't need to put into your body. So that was a good trick. That was a good trick for your mind until you get to the point where those habits are just normal for you to go in and pick the things that are better for you.
See, and Tracy, you're absolutely right, because it's like this. I used to tell my clients when I was in health and wellness, don't nickel and dime it.
Hmm.
I know every year at Halloween, right? when they put those little pumpkins, those little candy pumpkin things out, and
Mm-hmm.
like that tastes like candy corn, but it's
Yes.
pumpkin.
Yes.
I and candy corn. I don't when I act like, oh, I can eat one or two, and
Mm-hmm.
I eat them the whole month. Every place I go, I grab a handful.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was honest with myself, I would buy a bag of each, come home, sit down, and eat the whole bag.
Mm-hmm.
I was done for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And people may say, well, that's crazy. That's overload. But if I were to take all of those little handfuls here and there and there, I probably would have ingested that and a whole bunch more.
Right.
So my point is, you're right. When I was in the store and I knew I wanted to feel like I wasn't cheated.
Mm-hmm.
And like when people say, "Oh, give me just a little taste of that," and
Mm-hmm.
then next thing you know, they sneak off or drive past something, and they can't understand why they got to stop and get some
Mm-hmm.
because they still feel cheated from last week at grandmama's house when they just stuck their finger in the frosting. They had a taste.
That's right.
Now they sneaking and eating it in the car and throwing away all the wrappers and stuff before anybody knows. Rinsing their mouth out so it don't smell like chocolate.
Right.
I've done it. I've cheated, and before I got home because I know because one time Brian caught me. I came in, he kissed me, he goes, "You taste like Reese's peanut butter," and I had just ate a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Mm-hmm. But that's key too. Like, give yourself permission to be okay with the fact that, all right, I ate a Reese's peanut butter cup. It was good, and now I'm gonna refocus all over again. So that's what the reset is all about. Just
Yeah,
reset it.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
but there's two buttons there. Your
Mm-hmm.
reset button is sitting there, but right beside it is the guilt button.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I coach people on.
Talk about it.
Don't feel guilty about what you did. It was something that you wanted. It gave you pleasure in that moment, and it's okay to always just hit the reset button. You don't have to be guilty about being who you are and loving the things that you love, and just giving yourself permission to say, "All right, I got pleasure out of this thing for right now, but now boom, I'm going to hit the reset button and I'm refocused on everything that I need to do."
See, I love that. I really, really love that. I'm not just saying that. What I find very intriguing about this entire reset piece is that it gives you permission to have a brand new start.
Mhm.
And that is the place that evades most people.
Mhm.
They talk about it, they dream about it, they think about it, but they don't get up and become about it.
Mhm.
Soon as you hit that reset, the game on,
Mhm.
you know. And so, okay,
And
so
you
let's
think about it this way, every day is an opportunity to reset. Every day. Every
every
day we
day,
wake up, you start over. Really,
every day.
that's how we should think about it. Because I have a book that actually I'm going to give him a shout out. Markrell Russell gave me, whose program I'm going through for the online program where I am faltering, right? Because I'm going to be transparent and honest about it. But he sent me a book called The Practicing Mind, and it talks about appreciating the journey, and every step along the way versus the destination or the goal, because we always have goals, and we reach a goal and then we have another goal. But if you appreciate every step along the way, which is what I've been coaching women on anyway, that's what the reset is all about. Practice loving the journey and giving yourself permission to falter along the way, as long as you reset and refocus along the journey.
Mm. Practice loving the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, interesting, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because not all of us loves the journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go a little deeper into that.
And the journey, because the journey's not easy, right? The
No.
journey says, okay, I've made a lot of people. What they do is just what you were talking about earlier: beat themselves up for making a mistake,
Right.
and then once they do, it kind of it escalates from there, right? And the mistakes get bigger and bigger, right? And they just keep making mistakes and keep making mistakes because they figure, all right, I made that one mistake, so forget about it. And they lose track and they lose focus instead of just saying, okay, I'm all right, I made a mistake and now I'm going to move on. People never give themselves permission, but it's about loving yourself through the process. Give yourself permission to falter, because we're only human.
That's right. So, what do people do to get started with you?
Mhm. They can reach out to me Either my email is actually tracyr@theresetglobal.com. So they can reach out to me via email. On Instagram, I am the_reset_coach. And then on Facebook, it's just Tracy Randolph.
It's just Tracy Randolph.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, how you have a son, right?
I do. I have a 12-year-old, soon to be 13 in March. So I will have a teenager in March.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you about this
Hmm.
because this is another topic that whenever I get the chance, I like to bring it up so that an authority on it can speak to it.
Hmm.
I have the Power of We Symposium, which focuses on our inner city youth,
Hmm.
our at risk youth, which are all youth,
Hmm.
our
Absolutely.
young teen leaders of tomorrow and today. And
I'm
I
going to put
work
a plug in there. We need to talk about that a little bit more later on. But
about the Power of We.
yes,
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 I'm so excited. We are headed to Australia for a 2 week tour this summer, and a team of us are going, and
it's amazing.
90% of them are, of course, from my coaching program because that's
Mhm.
how we roll. But
Mhm.
we're going over there and we're going to knock it out. And we're also adding, this is, you guys are hearing it here for the first time, but we are adding Los Angeles Power of We to fourth quarter of
Mhm.
2020 as well. So we'll be in Australia this summer, and then we'll be in Los Angeles this fall.
Wow.
So yeah, you can mark your calendars for that. We're very excited about that. The LA Unified School District. So listen, but I remember I heard a woman, Tracy. What is Tracy's last name? We were when the night I stood on the stage that and spoke that became the Goldcast that night.
Mhm.
There was a woman on the stage with me, and she spoke about um, her fear that she lived with being a mother
Mm.
of an African American boy child.
Yes, yes.
um how it is the scariest thing in the universe to
Mhm.
have a boy child of color in
Mhm.
this day and age.
Mhm.
And since you were talking about single motherhood and this and the other, let's take it a layer deeper while before we get out of here today, and
Yeah.
tell me how you feel about that, because you're near a big city. You're in New Jersey. You got a
Mhm.
boy who's starting to feel his oats,
Mhm.
going into. So how tell me, is that a real phenomena? Is that a real fear?
That is a real fear, especially with all of the things that you see happening today. The only thing that I can say about that, and I am raising my son in the suburbs. He is one out of very few when it comes to him being around his friends and in social settings and in school. He's one of a few, but I let him know that you are still a young black man, even though you are being raised in a community is a little bit diverse, but majority Caucasian. But I just let him know that you're still a young black man. The things that I do here in this community that I want to say to the mothers out there, because I am an advocate for my son always. So I always show up. I'm always at all of the events, the school events, the sporting events. I
Sure.
always show up because I feel like people need to see the parents and see that the parents are advocates, and for people to understand the type of child that you're raising based on the way that the parents behave.
Mm,
Because I
mm.
think that's key. And then the other thing that I do in my community is there in my community they have a program, a cadet program through the police department that I have signed my son up for every year, because I said the police need to know who you are and they
Mm.
need to know your family in this particular
Ooh.
community where you're being raised. So he goes to that program every year. It stops at eighth grade. So next year will be his last year. However, they take volunteers. I said, and you will be volunteering because I want them to know his face and know who he is. But
Ooh,
I
that's so
also
smart.
explained to him that you still are a young black man. So when we're watching the news creates conversation because you have to have real talk with your kids about what's happening in the world. So I don't shield him from the news. I don't shield him from what's going on. We even watched a movie called American Dream with oh my goodness, Kerry Washington is the actor.
Okay.
I was gonna say Olivia Pope because I was thinking about
Oh,
Scandal.
that's her
Hold on.
character. Yeah.
Kerry Washington was the
Yes.
actress in that particular show, and she was married to a white man, and they had a child that got stopped by the police. Ended up within this story as she's going through her feelings and emotions and trying to find out what happened to her son. Her son ended up being killed by the officers. So I watched that with my son. So I'm mentioning that particular movie is on Netflix, but I watched that with my son so that I could explain to him how to behave as a black man when he's out there. It's unfortunate, and I tell him it's unfortunate and it's not fair. However, it is the reality. So your objective is to get back to me as your parent, so that I can advocate for you, as whatever the process is, whatever the process that he has to go through after being stopped by the cops, so that I can advocate for you on the back end. So your objective is to get home. So it's unfortunate that you have to behave a certain way to get there, but this is what we have to do. And then we have to fight in a different manner.
In a different manner.
Yeah.
What's the name of that movie again?
It's called American Dream.
American Dream.
Mhm.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So any suggestions? I love the thing about the cadet program,
Mhm.
and I'm not certain that every community has one,
Mhm.
but there are things out there similar or something,
Absolutely.
some type of something, and I
Absolutely.
love that being proactive and about the parent being present
Mhm.
and letting them see, and showing up
Mhm.
for our kids. That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
even if it's not police programs, even with the sporting events, I put him through programs where he's working with the coaches at the high school, so that by the time he gets to high school, they even know who he is, because
Hmm.
he's gone through programs before. So just put your kids out in front of some of the pillars of the community, I would say, just
Good
to make
point.
sure they know your children.
Great point.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, you have just covered it from A to Z today, from the rooter to the tutor. Yes, you did. And I am so excited for you. And can you tell us, is there anything we know about the online training program that's coming up? What else you got on your radar for Tracy Randolph in 2020?
Discover the author and speaker, and you coming up.
Yay. A week from tomorrow.
Yes, yes. So I'm excited about that. I
Yes.
am a part of the OB Mastermind, which is growing. I have a few speaking engagements scheduled as well, and then I'm actually working with a school district here in New Jersey to put together an employee wellness program. So I'm super excited about that as well. So
Oh,
things are definitely moving.
okay. Before you know it, y'all, you might see her sitting in a scene with Olivia Pope. I wouldn't put it past you. Listen, I am so excited for you and what is coming with and through you and everyone. I believe Tracy, if she hasn't already, she's agreed to drop her connectors into the comments so that you can
Yes.
continue this dialogue with her should you choose to do so. Um, Tracy, do you have any do you have a YouTube channel or
Working on that as well. So
working on that? Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. We'll
You know,
get in
you know
there.
my my wonderful New York team. So they are so on point,
Oh yeah.
and helping me
Oh
with
yeah.
everything. Yes,
Miss Lori Crosby
yes.
and
Miss Loren
Tanika
Crosby, Lisa
Claiborne and
Claiborne, and
Miss
Charmaine
Self Love,
Floyd.
Charmaine
Yes,
Floyd.
and
Yes.
Michael Tucker.
And Michael Tucker.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten to spend more time with him
Hmm.
while I was there. And he won't be coming to Chicago, I don't think, but
No,
we'll catch up with him.
yeah.
I've heard great things about Mr. Tucker. So,
Hmm.
well, listen, I want you to get out there and have a great day now. Keep doing what you're doing and keep changing lives, one reset button at a time.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. Have a great day now. God bless you.
You too. God bless.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. So that was our girl, Tracy Randolph. Wasn't that awesome? I just want to pop this back up on the screen one more time before we get out of here because there's still time for you to join Tracy, the New York, New Jersey faction of all those powerhouse women that are taking the Windy City by storm 1 week from today. I think they'll start arriving. The event right here is Discover the Author and Speaker in You. It's a full day workshop so that we can show whomever it is, maybe even you, how to get your message out into the hands and hearts of the world. We want you out of your seat and up on your feet where you belong, helping to change the lives of others. So I want you guys to consider, if you can, if you're in the Chicago area or you know someone who is in the Chicago area, have them join us. You never know. It's a great chance to be a part of something bigger than yourself. That's what we do. Also, I'm going to put a call to action out right now, looking for show guests. We're into the month of March now as far as booking people, but we love riveting stories, just like Tracy Randolph's today, the Reset Coach. So why don't you come on? Hit us up. We'll tell you what you need to do, how to get your bio and your headshot to us, and we'll get you booked so you can come on and have an illuminating conversation right here on Bathrobe Moments or Bathrobe Moments After Dark, which airs every Wednesday evening. We had an episode last night with internist Dr. Mark Gomez. We were talking about fad diets last night, and we'll have an episode every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central right here on Bathrobe Moments page. So you got all these options. All you got to do is reset your mindset, like Tracy said, and do it. Be actionable. Have a plan and then act on it. Okay? So anyway, here's the time where I say to you, what do we do now? We get out there and we do what we can to love up on everyone that we can. Get into the world and change people one person at a time. All you have to do, all you have to do, one more time, all you have to do is every situation and every person you run into today, try to leave it just a little bit better than the way you found it. Do that a few times in a row and watch what happens. I guarantee you're going to see your life and the lives of others begin to change. I'm Loren Michaels Harris. This has been today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'll see you back here tomorrow, God willing, at 7 a.m. 7 a.m., not Chicago time. 7 a.m. someplace in the world, but no, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. Where would 7 be? Would that be Mountain? I think so. So if you're in the mountain area, come at 7. Anybody else, don't come at 7 because we won't be here. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you then. God bless you and have a great day. Thank you, Miss Tracy. You're welcome. Okay. Bathrobe Moments would like to thank our sponsor for the week, Personal Victory Counseling, where Dr. Brian Rebzinski and his team are helping people become triumphant over life's challenges one day at a time. To reach them, area code 630-375-7416. That's 630-375-7416. Or find them on the web at personalvictorycounseling.com. That's personalvictorycounseling.com.